Obviously we have another podcast now, the Benchwarmers podcast, right? But that didn't mean that the point after was going to end. I got to have my weekly chats with Bossier offensive coordinator Jeff Harper. How you been, man?
Been good, man. Glad to be back. Talk a little football.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. It's good to be sitting back in the chairs. It feels right. It feels like we're finally back to our normal operations. And, man, I know we just had the Bossier Lions Club Jamboree. You saw the Bearcats there. The helmets, I know I talked about it on air a little bit, but you guys are looking pretty sharp out there, man.
Yeah, Gary decided he was going to change up the look, and he went to a new Adidas set of green and whites, and he surprised everybody by breaking out green helmets. And he said he really wanted to go with a rebrand, just a different look, but he wanted to bring back the old Cats script. And so I thought that it turned out really good.
Oh, yeah. I think, look, it's been said many times, but there is something that goes along with the guys on the field looking good, and it makes them play a little better. I mean, but yeah, I was loving it. I think that's been my favorite jersey edition in the
it looks good, man.
Yeah, it's a clean look, and I feel like we have so much to talk about. I mean, it's been a little under a year since we've sat here and talked, but it's week 1 in Louisiana. We got a ton of games, big games happening this week. But I did kind of want to just go through early and talk maybe district by district teams that we think maybe we need to keep an eye on or whatever. So I guess we could start in 1-5A. Airline obviously takes it last year, 10-0 regular season. Ben Taylor, Jarvis Davis, those guys are gone. They still have Kenny Darby. Who do we think is maybe some of the favorites in 1-5A this year?
Well, traditionally, I would say your defending champs deserve the tip of the cap. That they're the ones at the top of the food chain. But I think that district is a lot closer than people are given credit for. Like I think Shreve is going to be really good. It's one of the things that you want in a dynamic offense is a great run game, and they've got that with the Plater kid. He may be the best running back in the state. So I think they're going to be good. And then I think that the rest of the district is kind of all just kind of stacked on top of each other. Like anybody could step forward this year. I think Natchitoches Central, when I was there with Jess, we were playing a lot of young guys, and I've gotten to see some clips and some film on them, and they look really good. And Coach Laird's a great coach, so he'll have them playing well. And then you got John Simon now at Huntington, and they're always going to have athletes. And from what I've been hearing, they look really good. Supposedly, Neville's head coach was very complimentary of what he saw in their fall scrimmage, and that's saying something.
Right.
I mean, we know how good Neville was last year. I also think your Halton Bucks. They looked really good against Minden.
Yeah.
I think I loved watching the Jamboree. Coach Sewell comes out onside kicks immediately. They get the onside kick, drive down the field, and score. They looked better on defense, and so I think they're right there in the mix. That district, and then we're not even talking about Evangel.
There you go.
They go over to West Monroe and hang 27 on West Monroe, and I get it. People would say, well, that's not the same West Monroe. It's not the same Evangel either. I mean, it's an offensive-minded team. Pop Houston's one of the best quarterbacks in the state, and so I think he had 4 touchdowns just right away throwing the ball, and then in the fall scrimmage he had like 8 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So they're going to be really good, and I think that they're going to be able to score on everybody they play against, just like they did last year. But if that defense comes around and some of those young players are year 2 of that defense and that scheme, anything can happen. So I think 1-5A is wide open. I think that right now Airline deserves to be the team to beat because they're the defending champs. I think Shreve is right there behind them, and then the rest of them it's wide open.
Yeah, and we saw Shreve and Bird in their Jamboree, and it was even for a half, and then it kind of felt like Shreve started to wear him down a bit with Jamarcier. He really has just come out of nowhere. He was the backup last year heading in. My goodness, I mean, how does a talent like that hang out in the roster? It's crazy.
Well, I mean, I think that everybody has known how good of an athlete he is. I think he was playing some DB at one point, and they were really impressed with his DB skills. And so, the opportunity to put the ball in a kid's hands, it's dynamic. Once he gets that opportunity, watch out. And so, you got to commend the Shreve staff for coming in and not knowing a lot of the kids and then throwing them in there and giving them opportunity. And so, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, I know he was really good in middle school. He used to be a quarterback, and so you know, people need to watch out when he's back there in the backfield, and don't just think that all he can do is run.
Right.
He's got a strong arm. He could spin it.
Well, he had a big touchdown throw against Bird in the real game in the backyard brawl last year. So, yeah, I think he's someone that we're going to be calling a lot of. And what do you think about Bird this season? I mean, we know what they're going to run. It's year 5 for Coach Ballou. It's easy to forget that they've had a couple pretty deep playoff runs the past few years.
Bird is going to be Bird. They're going to be well coached. They're going to be disciplined on both sides of the ball. They're going to be great in special teams. They're going to run the ball effectively, and they're going to line up and play defense. So. We don't really ever go into a season talking about Bird. We just assume they're going to be there.
Right.
You know what I mean? They always are. So, that's just another example that 1-5A is extremely competitive top to bottom.
Yeah, I mean, it's why we call it one of the most competitive districts in our area, because it is week in and week out. And I agree with you. I feel like it's one of those years where. Remember when it was Airline a few years ago, and it was so shocking. I feel like it could be another one of those years where it's like, oh, wow, okay.
Yep.
That team's making a statement.
Anybody's district.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Benton, another one of those teams in that league, and they'll play Northwood as we go to 1-4A in our game of the week. So let's take a time out to talk about that matchup. Stephen Dennis, year 1 at Benton. Northwood and Benton have had traditionally really good games against each other to start the year. Northwood throwing it a lot in the Jamboree against Huntington. We know they're going to run. They got the two-headed monster back there at running back. What do you think about our matchup in the game of the week? I think it should be pretty dang good.
I think so, too. I think Northwood's got, everything they need to make a deep run this year, too. They're really good on defense and fast. They fly to the ball. Their scheme is, a pressure scheme, and they're going to bring pressure, and they're going to confuse offenses, and they're going to make plays, and those windows and are going to close really fast, and they generate a lot of turnovers. So they fly to the football. They're really good at tackling. Offensively, I think they've changed their scheme up over the last year, and they are spinning it a little bit. And the fact that they can spin it to fit with those 2 stud running backs they got makes them pretty scary. I mean, watching the Jamboree, nobody's in midseason form in the Jamboree. So I mean, you don't really know what to expect. I saw more from the Benton team than I expected to see, just because it's a new coaching staff, it's a new scheme. And then those guys are trying to figure out who can play where and all that kind of stuff. They played really well against Parkway, pushed them, I think it was 20-18, 20-14, something like that. It was a pretty close game. So, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a close game. I think Northwood has the edge because they've got so many guys back, and they are just talented, on both sides of the ball. And I know that being in that district and seeing those guys on tape and then watching them and playing against them, they're really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that this is the year that them, North DeSoto, it's.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm not making any. I'm not going to go out there and get myself in trouble. But
right.
Northwood's legit.
Yeah, and I kind of got that sense, when I was out there for the countdown story. It's so. Sometimes we overthink things, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's as easy as when I visit these practices, just the vibe in general, how it's going. And Northwood, it felt so much more, I don't want to say calm, but confident.
Yeah.
They seem, they know what they have.
Yeah.
And with that running game, as you mentioned, with Shreve, it stabilizes everything. And if they can throw it a little bit, man, I agree with you. I really like Northwood. But then the other side of that coin is, of course, North DeSoto. It is Luke Delafield senior season. Yep. It's the last chance here. They just won a state title in baseball. You're going to talk to anyone in Stonewall, the conversation's going to be Superdome or bust.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, how realistic
technically they should have been in the Superdome the last 2 years.
Right.
If we're honest, and they'll admit that. I mean, they've lost to 2, late playoff games. Both of them they could have won. Yeah. So I think that they're the team to beat in 1-4A. We know that they're going to come out and they're going to be able to score points. They're going to stop people. If everybody stays healthy, it's really it's their district, and it's their opportunity to go back down there and win that thing. So
yeah.
Delafield looks really, really good. When I've seen just from the film, and their running back is a stud.
Oh yeah,
he's one of the hardest kids to catch out in open field. I mean, you're not going to catch him. So I don't know much about their receivers now that Cole Corey's graduated. I think they've got some of the pieces back. I know that Miller Warren's still at tight end, and he's a stud. And so they're going to be they're going to be a tough team to beat wherever they play, and as long as they're healthy, they'll be in the conversation at the end of the year.
What about Bossier? I mean, obviously you're there every week.
Yeah.
Feels like the Cats are starting to make that climb a little bit.
Yeah. So this is year 3 of Gary Smith being the head coach, and the first goal was to close the door at Russian and quit losing guys to Parkway and Narrowline.
Right.
And we're getting the players, and so there's that. We're very young. Last year we played a lot of freshmen, sophomores. This year that team is sophomore, juniors.
Yeah.
Right, and so we've got some good seniors, but it may be 7.
Yeah.
And so the whole offensive skill group is back. The only one that graduated for us is Quan, and he's playing at LCU now.
Yeah.
We have Quentin Hodge is playing quarterback. He came back. He played his freshman year. Now he's back, and so he was a state finalist in the 800 meter for Bossier track. But we got Montreville Lewis. We got Jalen James. We have JoJo Rachel. We've got the pieces there. The whole offensive line is back. So going into a second season with the same pieces offensively, there should be an uptick just in execution and performance. They looked good in the spring. We didn't play well in the fall scrimmage. We didn't show much. We played a lot of kids, and Red River came in slinging the ball around, and they looked really good. But in the Jamboree, they executed, and we weren't trying to do too much. We're just trying to see who can do what. So going into this week, it'll be interesting to see how our guys respond. But we're still a young team.
Yeah.
I would say we're a year away from being, pretty much stacked at every position with depth. That's the one thing that we don't have a lot of. So, I think we have just under 60 on the roster, and Gary's, definitely. He's back tinkering with the defense, and I love it. I mean, on my way over here, we were on the phone, and you know how I feel about Gary before I coached with him.
Yeah.
I was very impressed with his defense, and so getting to just see how he does things and getting to talk ball with him is fun. So if everything comes together, maybe we can add a couple of wins this year. That's our goal. But at the end of the day, it's like we want to compete and be in every ball game. That's what we're trying to build and keep the kids. Moving forward in the program and those numbers staying high, and ultimately stacking some wins. That's the goal.
Yeah, of course, man, and we're pulling for it. And you're going to look good while you're doing it too.
Yeah, we're going to look
with
sharp.
Those green helmets, we love it. So we obviously always talk about North DeSoto and Northwood in this league for obvious reasons. It always comes down to those two. But I feel like there's 2 other teams in your league.
Minden and Loyola.
There it is. They seem to be right there. And Minden, we'll start there. Look, talking to Coach Hurd, we talk to him every year. He is never a very animated guy, but he is very confident in his team this year. He said this is probably the biggest on the lines that they've been since he's been there, and he's been there a long time.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good about Minden.
Yeah, I mean they're going to be good. They are huge. They've lost some pretty good pieces, but they returned a lot of their dudes, and so I wouldn't be surprised if Minden's there in the end either. It's a competitive district. And the one thing Minden has is athletes, and they trot those jokers out there. I mean, they got a safety. If you see him on the hoof, you're like, that's a 30-year-old man. I mean, he is 6'4", looks the part, and he just yoked.
He had a 100-yard pick six in the Jamboree.
I don't know the kid's name, but man, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He off the bus, when he gets off the bus, you're like, all right, these guys are different.
Yep.
But I will say, they're going to be a tough out for anybody they play, and if they get a lead on you, they bring a lot of pressure on defense, so they're hard to score on, hard to move the ball on. Loyola, on the other hand, they got everybody back they had last year too.
Yeah.
And then they got Restovich slinging that mug. So
what have y'all done with Bryce? Because he looks like a different person.
First of all, he's got good DNA. I mean, if you see Brock, like
I saw him in the stands
when he was in high school. The dude was yoked up, and he was a really good athlete. Played defensive end, outside linebacker. Played QB. Like he was an athlete. He's a football player. Well, Bryce is the same way.
Yeah.
He's gotten under that barbell a little bit this offseason. He's put on some size. He's spent as many Monday and Thursday nights with me as he could, and he's throwing the ball better than he's ever thrown it. In fact, he went to, I think it was the Arkansas elite camp, and one of the write-ups about him was footwork, mechanics, how good of a ball he threw. It was a catchable ball. He could make all the throws, both sides of the field, far hash, near hash. And so he's put in the work, and he's got great coaches. I mean, Jeter is there at Loyola, back at Loyola coaching, and he does a really good job developing QBs. Sella is going to, put him in situations where he's going to be successful as a play caller. And then he's got his dudes back. He's got his skill guys. And he's got Brock Jeter out there, number 10, going up and making big plays for him. And so there's so much talent at Loyola. It's going to come down to can they stay healthy? In that district, it's brutal. And then, can they get those big stops on defense? Because offensively, they're going to score. They're going to score with everybody. So, and I'm not saying their defense is a problem. It's just when you're talking about North DeSoto, Northwood, Minden, and then throw BTW in there. I mean, they're slinging the ball over the field. The Fighting Gary Coopers, they're out there throwing the deep ball every single play. I turn on, film of their fall scrimmage and deep ball, catch, touchdown, catch, touchdown. It's fun to watch, you know. So 1-4A is wide open when it comes to just teams are going to be competitive. I think that you have your two top teams in Northwood North DeSoto and Northwood, but everybody else is right there. And really, the next two to step up would be Loyola and Minden.
Yep. And Cam Harris was the kid's name. I wanted to make sure we got that because, I did a whole story on him a couple weeks ago. I should know that.
That's the safety for Minden?
Yeah,
he
plays wide receiver as well.
He's a dude.
Yeah, he's a heck of a player. And like I said, he had the top play of the night last week with the 100-yard pick six in the Jamboree. So I always say it all the time, you 100 yards to the house.
Pretty
You're
good.
probably going to make it.
It's
on
quality.
The top
Quality play.
That's not bad. And I do agree with what you said about Booker T. Washington. I was at the Caddo Jamboree, and they looked really good. A lot of talent in this area. And when you look now, we're kind of getting out of like the keeping it in the districts because those 4A and 5A are super loaded with our teams. But looking at some other teams, another team that I liked, and I don't know how much you know about them in the Caddo Parish Jamboree, Green Oaks. They were putting on a clinic.
Yeah, they played North Caddo.
Yeah.
And I turn on the film and I'm going, all right, Green Oaks is legit.
Yeah.
They looked good. Yeah. And on the hoof, they had some athletes. So they threw the ball very well and they were very athletic and explosive. So just from the few cut-ups I saw, I was impressed with them.
Yeah, and what are we thinking about Calvary this year? Obviously, no team lost as much as they did to graduation this past year. I know they have one of your guys, quarterback Hudson Price. What are we thinking about the Cavs?
I think that they're young. They've got some inexperienced guys that are going to be stepping up in big roles. Don't judge the Calvary Cavs based off the first few games of the year. Their schedule is tough.
Yeah, Oak Grove to start.
Oak Grove to start, then you get Neville. And so, there's no rest there. That's pretty tough. But once they get into district and, Huddy's got those reps, valuable game reps, watch out.
Yep.
They've got the pieces. And of course, they got, one of the best high school coaches around and Rodney Gillen, calling the shots.
I'm biased on that. But
and listen, they're loaded all the way down into the youth ages. I have 8 Calvary quarterbacks that come and train, and every one of them are good.
Yeah.
All the way down to the 4th grade. They're all good. Like, just wait till you see J.R. Waddell.
Okay.
The middle school 8th grade quarterback. He's a stud. He's a stud.
Okay.
His dad's the head baseball coach. He's extremely, extremely talented. He's won the Elite 11 Academy Pro Day script 2 years in a row.
Wow.
2 years in a row.
That ain't bad.
That's unheard of. So, a lot of talent there, and so watch out for them. They're going to put on. They're going to get it. They're going to get it. Some learning early in the season, but if anybody's going to spin that and help his team, it's Coach Ewan, and it's going to be valuable reps for them as they get into district.
That's why you got to listen to the point after. We're giving you quarterbacks to watch in how many
Another
years?
team you hadn't brought up yet is the fighting Tyler Hassels at Manny.
I was going there
That's
next.
That's my boy. That's my boy.
It's
Hassel,
my
man.
boy. It's a hot boy. Come on.
Hassel and I got to work together. First of all, we got to compete against each other when he was the
Right.
DC with Jess at Manny. And then when we got to work together at Natchitoches Central, he's one of the hardest working coaches I've ever been around. He loves the game, student of the game, is great at motivating kids. And he's going to do things his way. It's not going to be a retread of what Jess did. There's only one Jess Curtis,
Yep.
and Jess has got a specific philosophy. Hassel learned a lot from him. And so, they got my boy Quincy Jones down there, who was with me at Parkway and Red River and at Natchitoches Central. Now he's coaching receivers there at Manny. And so I expect Manny to flip the script and shock a lot of people this year, because he has got the numbers up. Those kids put in a ton of work this season, this offseason. They looked really good on film when I watched them against North Caddo in the fall scrimmage. and it sounds like they had a really good jamboree, and so they're going against Logansport week
Yep,
one.
right.
And I know Kevin very well. I think very highly of Logansport. We have them week 3, so we get that tape. But I'm telling you, it's hard to win at Logansport.
It is.
But when Colin went down, he's their starting quarterback. It's Kevin's son.
Yeah.
It's another kid that I got to work with all off season. He's legit, super legit. Well, that's a big adjustment for a team to go from having your starter in spring to him getting injured, having an injured elbow, and then having to have surgery. And
So
on
is
the
he,
third,
is he out for the year?
Yeah, on the third throw of the fall scrimmage.
Wow.
And so he's got one of the strongest arms for his body type of kids that
Yeah.
I've coached. And he's a student of the game too. He's a coach's kid, so he knows a lot. That's going to hurt him a little bit, but if anybody's going to have a kid coached up, ready to go,
yeah.
it's Kevin McGee. So that's going to be a great game. Like that's the one that I'm going to be checking my phone
Yep.
After the ball game Friday night to see who won that one, because I want Hassel to do so well. But I know what Kevin's dealing with Colin not being able to play, and so it's two friends. But that's going to be a war. I think it's going to be a really good game. So if you want to know a team, a dark horse to pay attention to in 2A,
Manny Tigers.
don't just look at it and think, oh, it's going to be Red River, it's going to be whoever. Manny is back.
Yeah,
Manny's
I love
back.
it. And it's hard to fathom a Manny team going 0-10, right? I knew it from last year, but even when we were talking to Hassel for the bench warmers, it was like, wow, it's hard to believe that would ever happen.
Yeah, and the turnaround's going to take time. Like when I say Manny's back, well, I'm just telling you, don't look at Manny and think, oh, they were winless last year. That's not the type of team you're going to get.
Love it.
You're going to get a team that's going to bring relentless pressure on defense. Relentless pressure. We went against each other in practice. It was relentless. He just dials it up, and he's bringing dudes from everywhere. And he's really good at it. Then you get a dominant run game to go with it. They're going to run the ball really well, control the clock, play well on special teams, not make the big mistake. Watch out for Manny.
Well, the good thing about this being a podcast is we're kind of be a little looser than we would be normally. So if you're hearing some sounds, our tech expert Randy Bain is doing some open surgery on a camera right now.
Yeah,
So it looks
pretty serious.
There's some real stuff going on. The thing is with that camera, Coach, see the little thing that spins right there? This is great podcasting, by the way.
Yeah.
The little thing that spins right there. Well, in that camera, it almost sounds like it's like a coffee maker. Yeah, that's a hoss right there. We talk about Coach McCorkle. Look at that guy. Come on. Look at
Dude, he's legit.
that Randy and his son Jackson, how they were not on an offensive line, I'll never understand it. It drives me nuts.
Oh, man.
Longtime KTVS fans know who we're talking about. Randy Bain, one of the best.
That's awesome.
But that camera sounds like a coffee maker. It's weird. They're trying to fix it. But okay, so the way you're talking about Manny this year reminds me of the way I felt about Mansfield last year.
Yeah.
Coach Barbay's building that program up. Pegues, a stud.
Yep.
I like Mansfield a lot this year.
Yeah, they're going to run the ball.
Yep.
And they play a physical brand of football, and so that always goes well for teams that are in that 2A district that want to be able to assert dominance for 4 quarters. And so Mansfield's fun to watch too. You don't see a lot of offenses like theirs.
Yeah.
And so Coach Barbay came over, my last year at Red River, and we had them week 10, and man, they were doing some crazy stuff on offense that it was like, you see it all week, you prepare for it all week, and you still can't stop it on Friday nights. And we had 10 weeks worth of games, and coached them up on tendencies, and he still was busting long runs on us. So Mansfield is going to be a team that is going to be a tough out every single time they take the field.
Love it. All right, well, we're up on getting close to the 30-minute mark now, so I don't want to keep you here all night. I know
You're good, brother. We're good.
Any other teams before we move on to some picks that you think? Oh, we didn't talk about Haynesville.
Yeah.
Duh.
They're loaded.
Yeah, right. And they've got an LSU kid. They've got the sting of 2 straight dome appearances where you come up empty.
Watch out. That's all you got to look.
it.
Just watch out for Haynesville. They're really good. They got their dudes back, and Coach Franklin's going to make sure that, if they get the opportunity to punch that ticket this time, they want to get that job done. So I've seen some of their film from the spring and from the spring and fall for the fall scrimmage and jamboree, and they're scary good.
Oh, I saw them at when they played Houghton in the spring, and it was like hard to tell that it was a 5A versus a 1A, and that's not a knock on Houghton. It's Haynesville's just that good.
They're that good.
Yeah, and they obviously they've got one of, if not the best coach in our area, and they've got studs. They got an LSU kid, and yeah, I'm loving
A
Haynesville.
football factory up there.
Yeah, I'm loving Haynesville. And okay, so we'll go do some picks. I'll throw some. I think I've got 3 games easy that we can go on either side of. Before we do that, is there any other players off the top of your mind, guys that we should be keeping an eye on, maybe that we haven't talked about? That's a tough one.
Players, there's the Bernie kid from Parkway.
Okay, wide receiver, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's wearing 88. Tay Mike Lynn, who's now coaching at Southwood,
Yeah.
and Terrace Marshall both wore 88. So he looks really good at wide receiver. Tall, long, explosive. He's a kid you want to watch out for. And I think that there's a couple of kids at Halton that are pretty salty. One of the receivers trained with us last year, and I think he wears number 16. He's legit too. So there's a number of talented players around here. Montreville Lewis from Bossier is going to be one you want to keep your eye on. Jalen James. There's a couple of solid quarterbacks in the area that I know they probably don't want me to drop their name, but
Do it.
if people don't know about the Weathersby kid at Halton, they need to. He can play, and he's got a backup in CT Woodard that's really salty too. So, those are just some of the local guys that probably don't get a whole lot of love, but Hudson Price from Calvary is going to be one you want to pay attention to. I wish I could say Colin McGee. You get to see him next year.
I was so excited to see. I mean, obviously we've known Coach McGee forever now.
Yeah.
And I was looking forward. I saw his wife posted on Facebook. That's just.
Yeah. Yeah. So, there's more kids I wish I could just spit off the top of my head, but there's a lot of talent in the area. You're going to see a lot of new talent coming up, and so I would say the one quarterback I really want people to pay attention to is Malik down there at Red River.
Okay.
Malik Smith. He was going to start for me there as a freshman. Broke his wrist week 3. He's 6'4". He's got a huge arm, and his older brother was an all-state first-team quarterback for me at Red River in 21. Trey Smith,
Heard of him,
who's the starting quarterback at Centenary. So Malik looked great in the fall scrimmage, and Warren Bowman in the slot. He started for me as a freshman at Red River. He's a senior now. Also a point guard on the basketball team. Malik plays on the basketball team. So there's some guys that people don't know about that you may want to pay attention to. And Manny's starting running back.
Okay.
I don't know his name.
All right.
But you will know him. He'll be on the.
We'll see him
He'll
Friday.
be on the highlight film. He's legit too.
All right.
So get ready. There's going to be some new names coming out, and people are going to be like, "Man, that kid's legit."
That's why we have you in. I'm so much more fired up than I was 30 minutes ago. We're getting ready for this. And I did want to ask one more thing before we get to picks. I want to just talk briefly about Malachi Ziegler.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it seems like every school in the world loves him. Recruiting has been wild for him. A new coach for him. What do we expect from him this season? I know a lot of it depends on what's around him, but I know when I talk to him, now this is the second year I've interviewed him, I like him more and more. Just his attitude and the things he says, his poise. What do we expect from Malachi this year? Well,
he's a sharp kid, and they're going to ask a lot of him. He is a prototypical pocket passer. He's got that big frame, big arm. He's intelligent. He is learning a new system, and it's a new way of doing things, and so there's going to be some growing pains there. And then making sure they have the right pieces in the right places. And so for me as a offensive-minded coach, when you're in a new place, that's hard. That's hard on any coaching staff. And I don't care how great a tactician a guy is or how great Jimmy's and Joe's, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like Gary and I were talking about this on the way over here, I don't care how deep your playbook is. If you can't find the best players and get them in space and put the ball in their hands, it doesn't matter how great of a tactician you are.
Yeah.
And so Malachi has got the opportunity to put big numbers up every week. He's got the skills. It's just whether or not they're going to have the pieces to go with him. And I think they've got pieces there, but the coaching staff's got to figure out who those guys are. And so from what I saw in the jamboree, they're figuring it out.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to be able to spin the ball down the field a little bit, and I think they're gonna put some wrinkles in. And they have a very diverse run game and play action menu and stuff. So I expect Benton is going to be figuring out who can do what, and then once they kind of figure that out, there's no telling what type of numbers Malachi puts up. I don't want to say he should put huge numbers up
right.
if he's going out there and he's got 3 sophomore guys that have never started a high school game, and their schedule's brutal. So, I do think that he has, some pieces around him, and from what I saw in the Jamboree, they're on the right path to being able to put up numbers every Friday night.
Yeah, man, it's crazy when you have guys like a Luke Delafield or Malachi or now Pop that start for so long. We, from our perspective, we kind of get to know them. We feel close to them because you go out to practice, they're going to give you your quarterback to talk to every time. So I feel like I've interviewed Pop and Luke and
well,
Malachi.
You got Luke, you have Pop, you have Malachi, then you got Owen Smith at Natchitoches Central. I mean, you got 3 guys that are all coming back. You have Bryce Restovich. So that's a lot of local high school quarterbacks that have, the starting quarterback from Minden. I mean, he's back.
Hudson Brown.
Yeah, Hudson Brown. So there's a lot of really good local guys that have played a lot of high school football games. Another kid that people need to pay attention to is KJ Newton, wide receiver from Natchitoches Central. He started for me when I was there. He's really, I would love to have that kid. He's really good. Going back to the whole Malachi question, it all comes down to, are the right pieces at the right spots when it matters? And it doesn't matter what's in the playbook, can those guys make plays? And that's part of the coaching process. And when you're a new staff, you feel like you've got it figured out, but it doesn't really come into focus until you start playing and the games matter. So anything could happen there at Benton, and I think that they're going to coach the kids up and have them ready and be competitive. And Coach Dennis is going to have his dudes fired up, and he's going to bring pressure on defense. And so, I think Malachi's going to have opportunities to put the ball in the air, make plays, and if he has the right pieces in place, a lot of good things can happen for him.
Love it. Okay, let's do some picks. Get this thing done with.
All right.
Okay, so I think got to start game of the week, Northwood and Benton. I was getting the sense maybe you like Northwood in this.
I'm not going to pick against Northwood because I am fully aware of what they have on both sides of the ball. I can't say the same for Benton.
Right.
And with it being the first meaningful game for Coach Dennis and his staff and the guys, I give the upper hand to Northwood. It could go either way. I think so, but I think Northwood, they know who their guys are. They have their scheme in, and they're going to bring the gas, and they're going to throw the ball down the field. And so I think it'll be close early, but you never know. You let Benton hang around like Parkway did, anything can happen.
So I'll go the opposite, and my reason is not nearly as well thought out. I have that memory in my head of I guess it was 3-4 years ago at this point, that Thursday night game, Huntington at Northwood, and Huntington was down big. They came back and won it, and Coach Dennis is screaming, going nuts. His kids screaming, going nuts.
Oh yeah.
It's just burned into my brain. And so I'll go Tigers just because I hope that we could get that, we could find that magic again. And I know we will. I already had them crying in the preseason story, so it was not that difficult. I asked Malachi, what's a Coach Dennis story so far that stuck out to you? And he's like, well, I'm sitting in his office and he starts talking and he starts getting really emotional and he starts crying, and I'm thinking to myself, well, he's just talking about how much he loves football. There's not even a real like, it was awesome.
That is awesome.
And then a guy said he told him to raise his hand up in the air. Coach did, and then said, well, now raise it higher. And the kid did like this, and Coach said, that's where you're wrong. No one should ever have to tell you to reach higher.
Oh, gosh.
It's like, let's go, Coach. All right, so give me Benton. You're on Northwood. All right, obviously, okay, Manny, Logansport.
I was hoping you wouldn't ask for that. I'm not going to make a pick in that game. I'm not, because they're both my friends, and I don't. Because look, we play Logansport week 3. The last thing I need to do is make Kevin mad.
Right.
Well, I think it's going to be a good game. I'm going to pull the Kirk Herbstreit deal here. I'm not calling the game, but I'm just telling you, I want Hassel to get that first win, and I want Kevin to be able to get his guys, fully behind the dude that they have, running the offense. And so I know how difficult it's been for Kevin, for Colin to go down and have the surgery, and so I don't want to make a pick in that one, but I'll let you have it.
Okay, well then I'm going to go with a Houghton grad.
Okay.
Let's go, Tyler. Let's go, Manny. I'll pick the Tigers, so I'll put you on Logansport by default.
By default.
By default. Fine. Okay, one more, and I just had it, and then I lost it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I'll give you a choice.
Okay.
All right, because I feel like none of us want to pick Neville. I want to pick Evangel in that game.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Evangel.
Yeah, I want. Yeah, I don't want to be on the other
But
side.
Neville's loaded.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if Neville won the game.
I'm
But
not gonna pick against Evangel.
I don't want to pick against a team. So I guess we could go. Matt said North Caddo. No, let's go Mansfield.
That's not right, man.
It's a North Caddo grad up there. He loves his Titans. All right, let's go. It took me a minute to get what he was saying. Let's go Mansfield Minden.
All right, I'm going Minden.
Okay, I'll take Mansfield. Taro Pagese has the game of his life.
Yeah,
And
and
the
he's going to need
Wolverines.
it.
Yeah.
He's going to need it. Now, I'm not saying that the kid can't play. That dude can ball.
Oh, yeah.
But Minden looks good.
All right, cool. So Matt,
Who's Halton have first game?
Homer.
Going Halton?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't pick against
I
Halton.
was- It's like, are we going Homer? What are we
Yeah,
doing?
I can't pick against
and
Homer.
don't get me wrong, I love Homer. And I will say this, little behind inside baseball type deal. If anyone at home watched our Homer preview story, I don't know if you saw it, it was all done on Daniel's phone.
That's impressive.
Because here's what he did. And now that it's over and the countdown's done, I can make fun of him for this. So he loads up the car, right? Puts all of his gear in it, goes inside to grab something, grabs the keys to a different car,
No.
and goes all the way to Homer, Louisiana, with the wrong vehicle. And all of his gear is sitting in this parking lot at KTBS.
You're going to out him on the podcast? Oh, my
I'm
gosh.
so mad.
I'm sorry, Daniel. It wasn't my idea to bring this up.
I'm not sorry. Because
Man.
if I did it, I expect
Man.
to get the same treatment. And I held on to this information.
Dude, you did your boy wrong.
Dude, that was in like July.
That's
This
hilarious.
happened. Yeah, it was.
How do you get – oh, my gosh.
Well, because the two cars they're the exact same vehicles.
They're parked next to each other?
Yes. So he just grabbed the keys, got in, and went. And now remember, we're shooting 24 high school practices in a matter of a few weeks. It
That's
does
tough.
get hectic.
That's tough, yeah.
So I mean, he's got a million other things on his mind, and he dips, and I was in studio doing the 3 for news, and he texted me. He's like, dude, you're gonna be so mad at me.
That's hilarious.
I was like, I mean,
That's hilarious.
what do you do, right? Can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
people make mistakes.
But shout out iPhone
What other big
16.
games are this week? I haven't even looked.
Okay, Calvary at Oak Grove we talked about a little bit. Haynesville, North Webster, that I love me some Christopher Wilson, but Haynesville is Haynesville. North DeSoto at Union.
North DeSoto.
Yeah, okay, love it. Ruston's at Acadiana.
Ooh.
That's interesting. Is it? I don't know.
I'm going to Acadiana. I will pick Acadiana because it's at Acadiana.
Okay.
That's the only reason
Yeah.
I'm picking it. But I think Ruston, if it's up here, Ruston runs away with it.
Right.
You know how South Louisiana officiating is. Like, it is so biased. I mean, I can't.
Well, wait,
I still can't. I can't get over the stuff that I had to deal with in playoffs. I mean, it's like some of those East Baton Rouge refs. They were, I'm like, never mind. I'm gonna leave it alone.
I was going to say, when I said Acadiana, I was going to say, where were you when Parkway played Acadiana in the Dome?
I wasn't there, but it was 77 to 40.
Oh, I remember. I didn't want to bring up.
My wife was there.
Yeah. Oh, I was there too. It was brutal. It was, Parkway got one stop that game, and it was a fumbled snap.
Yeah,
And
it's
at
bad.
12 possessions, 11 touchdowns was the.
Yeah, and if they don't throw, I think they threw 3 interceptions all in the red zone.
Yeah.
And still scored 77 points.
Yeah, and I think Parkway got a few onside kicks that made it like semi-competitive. But anyways,
It was incredible.
Shreve's at Ouachita Parish. Thursday game.
I'm going to go with Shreve.
Okay, I love it. Huntington at West Monroe.
Listen, I've heard the Huntington quarterback that they have is unbelievable.
Okay.
That's coming from Neville's head coach. And he didn't say that to me. He said it to a coaching friend. So, you know what? It's Huntington at West Monroe, right?
Right.
I think Huntington shocks the world.
We've heard this before.
I think Huntington shocks the world.
All right, you got to be right at some point, right? It's gonna happen.
I mean, at some point, there's going to be some goodwill there. But
Yeah.
if Neville's head coach is saying they're good,
Yep. Love it.
and they scored on Neville
Yeah, they did.
quite a bit
Yeah.
from what I heard. So, unless your highlights were off,
No, the highlights are solid. The highlights are, we don't worry about that. Well, not always, but okay. So we already talked about Homer and Houghton, Huntington, West Monroe, Barbet Airline.
I'm going to go with Airline. I'm going with the Fighting Scogs.
Let's go. Love it. We already talked about Northwood at Benton. Bird hosts St. Amant.
Bird
Bird all the way. Carroll at Parkway.
Parkway.
Parkway, I love it. Okay, Booker T. Washington at Lakeview.
Booker T by 60.
All right, we'll mark it down. Booker T by 60. All right, well, I mean, okay. St. Fred Loyola, did we talk about that?
Loyola.
Okay. Green
That's
Oaks,
the Bishop's Cup, isn't it?
I believe so.
Is it the Bishop's Cup? Yeah, Loyola, man. LCP, right, you know, sound the gong.
Sound the gong. Please, I love the gong. It's one of my favorite. I'm going there Friday. I got to see the gong.
Good game. It's going to be a good one.
Okay, I'm going to give you two more. We've got Green Oaks at Woodlawn, Independence Stadium.
After watching Green Oaks on film, I'll give them the tip of the cap.
I feel the same
But
way.
I think it's going to be competitive, and Woodlawn will pin their ears back, and it'll be a brawl.
All right, we got to do it to close it out.
What you got?
North Caddo Bossier.
I'm going with them Cats.
Let's go, baby.
I'm going with them Cats.
In those beautiful green helmets. We do love our Titans too. But
Yeah, we're going to throw everybody a curveball with the uniform choice this week. It'll be a surprise.
see, and that, if just news. You want me to come to your game? Tell me that. I'm a uniform guy. I gotta see it.
You just wait.
Oh, let's just do the uniform thing. Huntington, those gray helmets they're rocking with right now,
It's money.
perfection.
It's money.
That is a great. They're looking. Huntington's got some swag on them.
They do. And
That's
their
a
head
good-looking
coach has
team.
got swag. So
Absolutely.
you know, hey, part of taking over a program is rolling out your fingerprint on how you want to represent, you know, how you want to be represented in the community, how you want people to see you. And so that was one of the things we did at Red River. We changed colors of helmets, which I didn't really want to do, but we had to replace so many, and so they wanted to go the different colorway, so we did change the look. Then we turned around and we got 4 sets of uniforms.
Yep.
We were just royal blue and white, then we added black and gray, and so you got 16 uniform combos. That kind of stuff kids get fired up about. And when you're at a basketball school like Red River was, like Bossier is, like Huntington, you need those hoopers to come out and play because those are your difference makers.
Right.
We haven't gotten the hoopers yet, but we're hoping one day they'll decide.
Well, your Hoopers are definitely.
Yeah. If we would get some of those Bossier hoopers out, it would be. There's no telling how good we could be.
They are something else. Okay, one final thing before we wrap it up. Please tell me that this Arch Manning game, it was just a rough first outing.
Look, I think people need to get off the fact that they don't think he's any good. He went to Ohio State, the defending national champions, at his first, road start. They need to calm down. First of all, if you watch the game and you're honest about it, that was the most vanilla play calling that I've ever seen Sark do.
The goal line stuff was
in the first half
tough.
of a football game. Not a lot of motions, real basic. He was running the ball a lot, took a lot of pressure off of Arch in the second half. It was 14-7. It's not like they got beat 40-0. Bill Belichick got the worst beating he's ever gotten in his coaching career last night.
Brutal.
And now, Max Johnson did come off the bench and he looked pretty good. But
He did.
I think people need to back off. Arch is going to be fine, and Texas is going to be fine, right? Now I will say this. LSU looked great.
Oh, man.
I loved it.
Nice.
I loved it. Brian Kelly needed to win.
He did.
Because, all he's done is delivered us 0-1 going into week 2. And now, look, we have a blocked PAT. We have all kinds of stuff that cost us, or blocked field goal, whatever. But to be that dominant and Nuss play as well as he did, the defense look as good as he did, man, I'm excited about college football. And LSU's my number 1, Notre Dame's my number 2. I'm not super stressed out about Notre Dame going and losing week 1. That was a war on the road. So no one is going to look great. In the way the playoff format sets up, you can lose early.
Yeah.
You can lose early, and
it's better to lose early.
You get better from learning from losses.
Yep.
So watch out. Arch Manning's going to be good. And I don't want to hear, Arch is the greatest ever when he starts doing what he's capable of doing.
But what really, really ticked me off, and I know on Benchwarmers we do a segment called Ticked Off, so I guess I'll do one here, is you've got these idiots, for lack of a better term, on social media. They pull one clip of Arch in high school when perhaps maybe the team that they were playing wasn't very good. And
I saw it.
Oh, this is what he plays against, and this is...
They didn't show the cut-ups, though, where he's playing against Benton.
Right. Use your brain
where
a little
it was
bit,
like
people.
64-58 was the final, and Reynolds comes off the field going, that's the best high school quarterback I've ever seen in person. And he got a pretty good one in Greg Walters over slinging it for him. So,
Right.
I think people just need to calm down.
Absolutely.
Just chill out. He's going to be fine. He can play. It was his first start. Ohio State is extremely talented on defense, and it's on the road. I mean, it's a hard place to play. I think, when it's all said and done, Texas is going to be in the conversation late in the year, and Arch Manning is going to have ridiculous numbers at some point this year, and everything is going to be moving in a positive direction. I don't think he played bad. The loss wasn't on him. He hit a dude in the end zone that was dropped. He gets stopped on a fourth down. By the way, let me just go ahead and state this for the public. Texas had scoring opportunities at the 1 yard line. The touchdown that was ripped out of the guy's hands. All of that happened, and what did Ohio State have? Not a lot more than what they produced.
Right.
Texas could have easily won that game by 10 points or more. So people need to calm down.
Love it.
Just calm down. Arch Manning's going to be fine.
Well, I can tell you, this might have been our longest episode yet.
Yeah, it's been fun.
I think we missed each other a little bit.
Absolutely, brother.
It's good to have you back.
You need to
man.
apologize now to Daniel because he's going to have a complex after watching this.
Nah, he'll be fine. He can handle it. He's way tougher than I am. Coach, you're the man.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks for hanging out with us, and thanks for hanging out with us here, listening to us here on the Point After podcast. Of course, we'll be back next week for the next 15-ish weeks. We'll figure it out. Thanks for hanging out.